as a celebration of life, so it's one of the few that is celebrated on the grid.
Can we see if their mics are working?
Hello? No, they're not working.
No? So can we get a couple of handhelds for them, please? Otherwise, I'll just be here talking.
For a movie that's about technology, you wouldn't think we would have problems with microphones. But we're in the real world.
Yeah. That's what happens when you leave the grid.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Oh, hey.
Awesome. We are plugged in. All right, so being a Disney geek, I have to have my first question to ask you guys, what is your earliest Disney memory?
Well, mine is, I think it was the first movie I ever saw. I remember my parents taking me to the must have been a re-release, because I'm not that old, of Snow White. So, I'm guessing it was a re-release at some point, and I have a vivid memory. It was the first movie I saw of being terrified, but loving it.
For me, I guess my first real memory that I remember is I went to Disney World when I was really young, and I remember the hotel had a monorail go in it, and I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, I was really young, and I looked up, and it went in the building, and I thought, that is awesome.
The monorail, I think, made a big impression on both of us, because I still, like, to this day, don't understand why that is not the primary mode of transportation.
It makes sense.
One day, you never know.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction when you guys were younger and saw the first original Tron film?
Well, immediately we got to work on this one.
Yeah, we were like, someday come to us, we better start now.
First draft in crayon.
Is that out? No, there it is. My first memory is that I remember being dropped off at the mall, and I was young enough to go in the theater alone, but not, like my mom would wait outside. So I wasn't really there alone, I had the illusion of it, and I just remember sitting down and the minute, like, the idea that you could go behind a computer screen and that there was this whole world just blew me away. And I just remember immediately going after, and I remember going after and to the arcade where there was the Tron game, and I literally waited 30 minutes in line behind all these teenagers, and I got up and I put my quarter in, and I lasted 5 seconds.
I had a similar experience. I remember being very young and having my parents drop me off in the theater with my brother to see the movie, and coming out just, my mind blown that, that computers could do this, and there was a world inside computers and all that stuff. And begging my parents to buy me a personal computer. And my dad saying, no, those are like $4,000. I got one eventually.
When you were 30.
Yeah.
So 28 years later, or give or take, your approach to do Tron Legacy, what was your immediate reaction?
We'll never get the job.
Terror.
We'll never hire. Literally, we went and we had a meeting with Britt Taylor at Disney, who is an amazing person, and he was like, listen, we're trying to think about doing another Tron. Would you guys be interested? And we were like, absolutely. We were huge fans of it. And literally we thought, well, they'll never give it to us, so let's just at least say what we want to see. And oddly, that they hired us.
Yeah, I mean, it was really daunting and humbling to even be approached with the opportunity. So we really just looked at it as fans and said, what could we do with this? What would we want to see?
And then once we got it, we just were like, well, I guess we better not screw it up.
So you can let us know soon.
Yeah.
We're
David and Carlton instantly jealous and like, should have been us?
They, in all seriousness, they were incredibly supportive because we were writing Lost at the time, and to do both at once was really tough.
Yes, we definitely tried their patience because Joe Kaczynski's office was in Venice and the writer's room was in Burbank, and that was a 3-hour drive. So they were really supportive. They probably just didn't think we could.
All right, well, speaking of Lost, I can easily actually sort of see the transition between Lost and Tron Legacy. It gets a little fuzzier to me when I think of Popular, a WB show, Felicity. How do we make this transition?
Well, first off, if any of you have seen Popular, and maybe some haven't, and if you have seen, you probably don't remember, we actually did an episode on Popular, Eddie and I wrote, that was about two of the characters, they're high school kids. Their whole goal was, one of them was grounded, was to get out of the house to get to a screening of Tron with Bruce Boxlight. So it's always been in our brain.
And Felicity, I guess, is where we met JJ for the first time, and I guess that helped in getting to Lost, but really...
Yeah, but I don't know how many that jump. I know, I do think, though, that all those shows share one thing in common, which was they were always about character first, and that's always been
kind of
our approach.
Yeah, and that was kind of our approach to this movie, before we thought about this, the set pieces or the spectacular world, we thought, what is the emotional spine we can hang a story on? And that was what was going to take us back into this world. Kevin Flynn's son, and that father-son story is kind of, that was what we hung the entire thing on.
We were also very aware that it's a world that, particularly if kids are going to go see it, a lot of them won't have seen the original Tron. So to us, it's like, what better way to introduce a new audience?
And our goal was to, create a movie that was from the same DNA as the original, but that if you had never seen the original, you could go in and you could watch this movie and not feel like you missed a beat, But if you had seen the original, maybe there was a few shout-outs to you.
Now, you work on, anyone here a fan of Lost? All right, so Damon and Carlton aren't talking, so I got a couple questions.
Sure. Can't answer it.
So let's talk about the end. So what does the end really mean?
The end actually was a metaphor for everybody to go see Tron Legacy.
When Jack, his eye is closing, he's thinking, oh no, I'm not going to get to see it.